Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Slicey Boy Sunday, Wednesday edition. So, for today's Slicey Boy Sunday special Wednesday edition, I'm going to go over a few new fixed blades that we got for 2026. But before I do that, I do want to talk about a couple of things that happened in the past, say 12 hours or so, which was some real weird shit. I swear I heard somebody back in this unit here, which is supposed to be baking right now, both 11:30 last night and then about 3 a.m. this morning. I know my neighbor kid and the one over Mickey. I'm pretty sure he was doing stuff between all that time is what it is then. Over there just being nuts on if he was working like second shift and got off after midnight or what it was, and just, or I guess it was actually before midnight he would make noise, so it would have been like 11:30 then. So I'm not sure if the original crash was coming from his area, but I swear I heard somebody back here, like yanking a power cord of some kind, or extended cord or something like that, across the floor is what it was there. Like if you would, like, essentially, we would like throw down a cord and then go to plug it in, and then like start unfurling it to like yank it forward or whatever. That's kind of what it sounded like, honestly. So I texted my landlord this morning, and he still hasn't gotten back to me. Like almost 5 hours later now, is what it is. So hopefully he'll contact me and be like, "Oh no, it's fine. It's something random or whatever the case be." Because my only assumption right now is that somebody broke in and was squatting in there last night, but I have no idea about that though. I really came this close to calling the cops, but then the problem was the only reason I didn't is because I was a little bit under the weather last night, if you will. Specifically, my back was all messed up yesterday, and it was so messed up that I had to take one of the gummies around like 4:30 yesterday afternoon. It was there, which didn't kick in until about 6:30 or so. So I was pretty much rolling then. And then finally, my Amazon package came last night about 7:30, and then I found out that apparently the dumbasses at Amazon had delivered something that our boy Krabby Turtle had sent us the previous day, but instead of putting it either in my door or in front of my door, they put it off to the side of my door, where I couldn't even see it looking out my fucking window to my door. So it wasn't until yesterday I was able to get that done. Thank God it was still there, by the way. I was shocked by that one. The only reason I'm surprised it was still there is because I think had Fuckstick that got evicted over here not been kicked out a month ago, it probably wouldn't have been there, honestly, because he probably would have swiped it, honestly, at some point. So, which was interesting what that was. It was basically a 2026 calendar of the guns. It's the same. It was the same one he sent me last year for my birthday. So, now it's for 2026. Now what it is. So I might put that up at some point. It just depends. I think I'll move out of here before I do anything with those. What it is, but yeah. That being said, it's just been a weird day in general. So, and the only thing I can think is it's like maybe I was so high it was like interdimensionally hearing shit. I don't know if that would be the case or not. I don't think that's the case. That I could hear like. I don't think it'd be like ghost activity I'd be hearing or something like that. But then again, like the one being at 3 a.m. was kind of weird. So, I don't think it'd be like interdimensional stuff either, because obviously we don't know before we get into the knife stuff today what it is. There's actually 9 known dimensions of the like planes, basically, is what it is there, like the realms, you want to call that. We only can see into 4 of them. So there's a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, an 8th, and a 9th dimension above ours is what it is then. And the 4th dimension here is what it is. So I don't think I'd be hearing random stuff from like one of these higher ones, but who the fuck knows, dude? I do know that stuff does inhibition use what it is, so it could be, you never know, just weird. But either way, it is very strange in general, and like I said, being hopefully stone cold sober tonight, if I hear this shit again, I'm definitely calling the cops and being like, hey, there's somebody in here that shouldn't be what it is then. So, but anyway, that being said, we got 4 different knives I want to talk about today from 4 different companies. So they're all fixed blades. We're going to start out with this bad boy right here, which is the HX Outdoors. I like how their thing here is Every man deserves an exceptional knife. A little tagline there is what it is. I'm not sure what kind of animal it's supposed to be on there. It almost looks like a weird, like, pig hybrid or something. So, pretty big box. Interesting blade and sheath, obviously. It's similar to the Moore knife sheath, except the fact that it has what appears to be a scraper on the back of it, which I assume is a way to sharpen the blade, obviously. The one interesting part about this one is, with it having its own little, what's that called now? Paracord little carabiner thing. So this back of it is supposed to pull out, because if you look in the side of this thing, this is actually a fire starter. And I'm kind of wondering if that's what that is for too as well. But the problem is that it's so stuck in there, it won't come loose. So it kind of sucks on that aspect. That's the knife itself right there, which is, I believe, this is supposed to be some kind of D-tube, and it doesn't say it actually is. I could be wrong about that one. It's not a bad looking knife though, and it does have. Do a little cut test on this deal right here is what it is. Show how truly sharp that is out of the box. That second cut didn't really do too well. Let's see if I can do the size of it is. Yeah, it's kind of a problem to do it on. There we go. That's a pretty good cut. Yeah, not a bad blade. This is around $20, if I'm not mistaken, at the time I bought it. I don't know if it's still on there or not right now. For that same price or for a similar price, so. But yeah, it was a decent one. And like I said, it's supposed to be right here is how you get this out of here somehow, but it does not want to come loose for me. It's like, it's almost like it needs to be like pushed out somehow or something like that's what it is. So I still haven't figured out exactly how to like crack it loose basically. Like it feels like it's wiggling around as I'm like fucking with it, but it doesn't want to like wiggle out is the problem. So I'll figure that one out later, I guess. But yeah, like I said, if I can figure out how to get this out of here, it's a better knife, obviously. If I can't, it is what it is at that point, obviously. So. But yeah, not a bad little blade in general. So. Next up, we have a CCFFCC. And I believe this is a micarta handle on this one, or it could be a G10. I'm not sure offhand. I can't remember. It's also around the $20-ish price tag. Obviously, it's got this little weird, like, push sheath piece there, is what it is. Not a bad looking blade. This is a 14C 28N. I do like the jimping on this quite a bit. It's also quite thick for what it is. Feels good in the hand. The only drawback I have with this knife specifically is I wish it was about this much longer for the handle. Like it just needs to be like literally like a partial finger longer because it will give me a better grip, obviously. Because the way I'm holding it right now, it doesn't really quite go into like the meat of my hand is what it is there. And it just feels a little bit different. Yes, I got your calendar. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was left there on Monday, and it was left on the side of the door where I couldn't even see it because it was yesterday when I got my other stuff. Is what I'm like, why is there this second package sitting over here? Oh, is it because somebody came in yesterday and left it there? That is pretty good right there, honestly. That 14C28N. Definitely very, very slicey. But yeah, it bothered me because really they should have done it better is what it is there. How they left it. But they didn't. but at least it was still there. So at least I can say it was. I would say this is a decent neighborhood, but which I think it is now that Dickhead's gone from behind me. There's what it is. But I also think it was something to where, because of the way that they set it against the outside wall, there's what it is. I'm pretty sure that it was just nobody was able to see it and take it as it was then. So, anyways, moving on to the third of four knives. We got this big boy right here, which is the DW ULCX Tactical Fixed Blade Knife. And this thing is heavy, I'll tell you right now, dude. Like, this has got some heft to it. This was one of the ones that 704 Tactical was talking about here maybe like a week ago, I think is what it was on his gear channel. And this was around the $20 mark and stuff. This is a really weird, really weird sheath for this. I think it's just a weird square sheath. And then it can't be obviously changed. It's just up and down is what it is. But yeah, it's very weird in general. And I'll tell you what, this thing is legitimately, it's an E2 knife. And it is super thick spine on this. Like, it is heavy in my hand too, for that matter. I also wish, just like the last one, this had a little bit longer handle to it. Like, it needs to be about maybe probably this much longer, honestly, back here. Just because of the way that my hand is on it now, it just feels weird. But it definitely does. You can feel like there's a lot of meat in there. I could definitely see taking this out into the woods and using it for like all kinds of like tree chopping and shit like that if I wanted to do that, obviously. So, not a bad blade overall. Not a bad blade overall. Let me find the one that I bought a while ago on Amazon. I'll show you exactly what kind of sharpener I have used. Because there's been a few that I got over the years. Or over the last year, I should say. And only one of them was actually really good. So, where are we at now? It's not that one. It's not that one. Yeah, here we go. The sharpener I got that I found that works best is this Sharpnel 5-in-1 for $20. It's actually really nice. You got your standard ones on the one side. You got your Asian knife versions on the other side, and then you got a thing for scissors in the middle. There's what it is. So, and it does work out pretty well. Like, I've had to sharpen a couple knives from it, and it does work very well, honestly. And you basically just hold it in place on the flat surface there, and then just sharpen it up to what it is. So, it's very good like that. And surprisingly, it does work out how it needs to work out, so. I think it only took about 8 to 10 swipes or something through it, and I was able to get a knife back to fully, like razor sharpness, basically, is what it is. Then again, it was also one of the Walmart little budget knives, but even still, it is what it is. So, box has like a bust on the side of it there. Probably from the, what you call it, hitting the round is my guess, honestly, when I got it in. Because we all know that Amazon doesn't bother, really giving a shit about your packages. And I mean, some of them were worse than others, obviously, depending on where you're at. But finally, we got a Drakenbach. Sorry, not Drakenbach, Drakenada. This one's actually really interesting. I opened it up the other day because this was the first time I ever saw a knife that had a little Allen key in with it that was also a screwdriver at the bottom. It has its own little piece for that here on the side. Obviously, what just fell out was its little Drakenator cleaning cloth. Got a little silica pack in there to keep it going, and then the blade itself, which is interesting with this one because it actually has a fire starter that can literally be taken off of there and used, and then just simply screwed back in place when it's not in use. So I thought that was pretty cool. And this was around 20 something dollars, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The only thing I don't like about this sheath specifically is that it is a like almost like a piece of rope handle, basically. There's what it is, with an unnecessary button lock because it's already locked into place. There's what it is. So that alone, that really does irritate the hell out of me because it's not really needed. As for the knife itself, little Tonto blade. I'm pretty sure the handle on this can actually be what you call it to see in the dark, if I'm not mistaken, or glow in the dark. So not bad overall. Definitely has some decent jimping on the back there is what it is to use that fire starter with. So pretty lightweight for what it is. I feel like this is D2, but I could be wrong. It might be 14C28, and it does not say on either side of it though. So that is a little bit bothersome. It's got a little bit of oil on this blade still. I think what they do is they oil up those bags is what it is. So it like transfers to the blade a lot of the times what it does there. So anyway. Go ahead and grab the paper here. And we'll do a couple of slices on the paper there, so it is. See how it cuts through. Yeah, a little bit kind of hard there, honestly. Let me maybe try doing it like that. If that doesn't do any better. Yeah, it definitely cuts through, for sure. At least on the Tonto side of it, anyway. It's a pretty clean cut, what it is. Let's see if I can get a cleaner one with the actual blade itself then. Yeah, it's kind of hard because it's like too, what you call it in there. I guess it cuts pretty good. So, yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad for what it is. Like I said, it feels good in the hand. I actually wish the handle was a little bit longer, if you will, just because the way that you can see the spine of the actual frame of the knife is what it is there. Like they didn't put enough handle material on there to where your hand is not like wrapping around and like hitting directly in the metal as what it is there. So I can see that getting kind of an issue at some point. Now, granted, if you have gloves or something, I can see it being fine. But if you're doing it barehanded for long enough, like you're eventually going to have your hand hurt is what it is then. So, yeah, not a bad knife for, like I said, around the $20-something mark, I think is what it was. Or 18 maybe, I think is what it was on sale, something like that. So, not bad at all though. I will give them the credit that they do make a good box, obviously, too, on these. So, we'll just throw everything back in the way it was there, and hopefully it'll all stay in place then this time around. But yeah, so overall, not a bad set of knives for this coming year is what it is then. Various stuff of, like I said, 14C28N, D2, etc. So I don't believe anything there was. I think that's all D2 and 14C28N. If it doesn't say it is. So that's the one thing I realized recently was there was a knife I got that was it was a folder last year, and I forget which one it was, but it was one that was like pretty much on cheap end. It was only like maybe 12 or 13 bucks or something like that. And I swear it was one of the MOV steels, but then when I looked at the thing for it recently, it claimed it was a 14C28N, and I'm like, well, then why wouldn't you put that on the blade is what it is then, if you're going to be that kind of a decent knife then. Like, it just seems weird to me that you wouldn't actually, like, you know, be like, hey, like, let's label our knives to that specification of what it is. People actually know what they're getting is what it is then. So, yeah, it's just weird. But it could be legit. It could be bullshit. Who knows? So, either way, I'm getting pretty tired again. I got some stuff I got to do. So, and that's pretty much it for the day for this episode. So, I'm going to go ahead and put these blades away then in their little carrier box at some point here in the near future and go from there, basically. I'm actually kind of pissed I wasn't able to be on Honda's chat last night, because what ended up happening was I literally had, like I said at the beginning of the episode, with me being kind of high as what it was at the time, and then hearing like weird shit back here and hearing like stuff from my neighbor guy there in C. And I was like, hey, like, what the fuck, man? And it was, what was I going to say then? Yeah, like, I ended up getting up and I was going to, you know, jump on the computer and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, it is 11:30 or whatever the case be, shit. Like, let's, because it was, I think when I checked my phone, it was like 11:36 last night or whatever, when I heard the people making noise and crashing, or whatever the case be, whatever it was. They were like knocking into shit. So, and again, like I said, it could have been my neighbor guy Mickey just moving something in his apartment there, and maybe he needed like an extension cord or something like that. Who knows? But because it could have reverberated against that wall somehow and like made it sound like it's coming from this wall, basically. But I have no idea, which is weird. But yeah, as soon as I woke up from that, then I jumped on my computer. I was going to set the shit up, whatever the case be, because I assumed Honda was still going on. And apparently he had to, like, I don't know if he, like, started at, like, 10:05 last night or what it was, because they were already done by the time I got in there. It had been gone for, like, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was then. So, yeah. It was a very short chat last night, apparently, because I looked into it and it was, like, an hour and 13 minutes or something like that is what it was. So I was like, all right, whatever. So that's first chat that I missed in the last, you know, couple of years now is what it is. But anyway, not surprising. Like I said, I was just so exhausted, man. Like, I just needed some sleep, basically. And I was thinking we were able to get it, because after that, with the exception of, you know, hearing the stuff of, like, what you call it and stuff, I was basically after the 3 a.m. weirdness over here and over there, obviously, then it wasn't really nothing, and I was able to get some sleep until about 7 this morning when I heard the freaking school bus stopping for the kids. And then I sort of nodded off after that again until about 11 this morning is what it was then. So I was able to get like intermediate, like 4-hour naps, basically what it is there. So hopefully one of these days I'll be able to get like some decent sleep when I move out of this fucking place is what it is. And go somewhere else then. Because it really is just becoming a pain in the ass to live here is what it is. Like, it's fine right now because I'm pretty sure Mickey is at work. And either that or he's passed out, one of the two. And then, of course, there's, as far as I'm aware, nobody over here. Or if they were over there, they got the fuck out this morning, if it was them. I swear the voice I heard, I swear I heard a voice back there last night, slashing this morning. I swear it was the fucking asshole that got evicted out of there. So, unless I'm hearing fucking voices in my head when I'm high, like, I'm pretty fucking sure that, like, somebody did break in there, obviously. So, but I would have thought I would have heard them now, though, is what it is, you know? So, it's hard to say, man. It's really hard to say. It's really bothersome, too, because it's like, you know, it's the not knowing part is what it is there. Like, it's like, yeah, it'd be one thing if I actually knew, like, what the fuck is going on, but, like, the fact that I have absolutely no clue what the hell's going on here is what really bothers me, because I'm just like, it's like a wait and see thing where I'm like, hey, landlord guy, you gonna get back to me? Like, what the hell, you know? So, because just knowing him as probably one of his fucking crew or something like that, like, decided to come over last night and do something and then, like, end up passing out in there or something, which I don't know any crew that would come over in the middle of the fucking night, obviously, unless they were, like, my only guess would be maybe it was somebody that was, like, drunk or high themselves that work for this dude, had the keys to the place, got kicked out of their place by their chick or whatever, and then was like, well, where can I go sleep it off or whatever? And they just decided to come into this fucking apartment and sleep it off in there or something. Maybe, I don't know. So it's just really weird either way. Like, it very much. It's just like it frightened me, needless to say, because being like the end of a high basically, and then hearing like random noises like that. It's like, yeah, you're gonna get paranoid of like what the fuck is going on, and also maybe hyper vigilant too for that matter, because I'm like, what the fuck, dude? So. And the fact that, as far as I'm aware, there's supposed to be nobody over there right now because they haven't run it out again. It makes it even weirder then. So, yeah. I don't know if like I said, I'm not sure if I was hearing paranormal activity or if it was just, I thought I heard shit over there, but it was maybe from the other guy because the way that these fucking walls are and stuff. I'm hoping it's the second one, obviously. And I'm just like overthinking this shit. I just need to talk to Mick one of these days and get his number or something else and be like, hey, dude, like, you could just, cut the shit at night because I'm trying to sleep out here. What it is. So, because I really think what it was is I think I was blaming it all on Don when he was still there, but I think sometimes it was Mickey and his buddies. So, and like I said, the only reason I didn't actually call the cops last night is because what I said to them, I'd have been like, oh, I'm hearing noises, and they'd be like, they'd probably come out and they start talking to me, and they'd be like, sir, are you high? And I'm like, of course I'm fucking high, dude. And like, and they would just kind of write me off at that point. But yeah, so that's the one reason I get involved, obviously. But now that I'm sober, or at least mostly sober, and that's one thing I have realized from those gummies is, I don't know if it's just like they leave me with like a weird like hangover or what it is, because I noticed this morning, like every time I've taken them since then, that I always have like a weird wake up where I'm just like groggy basically after the fact. So that is one drawback to taking those things. That being said, the first one I took last night was actually really interesting. It took somewhere between like 2 and 3 hours to kick in properly is what it is there. I think by the time it was about 2.5 to 3 hours in, it was when it was really rolling there is what it was. And that was one where, I don't know if it was used with like indica or sativa or indigo or sativa or whatever it was in that, but it was like super fucking mellow. And it literally felt like I was like if you ever had like astral projection issues and stuff like that, where you like think you're like having out of body experiences and stuff like that. That's kind of what it feels like. It feels like you're like floating almost in that one. So if I can actually find like something else somewhere else that is a similar high to that one, if that be the case, that is what I would like to get from now on, is what it is. Because that was a nice high, honestly. Versus obviously, potential like weird paranoia after the fact. So, but it is what it is, man. Sad fact is, I'm not gonna be able to get any more of those now because our stupid fucking government is a bunch of retards, and I'm seriously considering suing the shit out of what it is right now. I also wouldn't be surprised to see a class action lawsuit from a bunch of vape shops in the state over that, because it was completely unconstitutional what they did to try and force all these people to close and sell off their stock and stuff like that, because they want to be a bunch of asshole ingrates involved with the booze industry in this state, in this country, that are their financial backers for politics stuff and political races and whatnot. So, yeah, it's like I hope they enjoy losing the 2026 midterms, obviously, in the state, because I guarantee you're going to have a lot of rhinos get their asses beat in these primaries. And most likely, you're going to have Democrats end up flipping a couple seats because of that shit, too, as well. Maybe even people that are smart enough to, like, run as a Democrat, but they're actually, like, a super Republican, basically, like, super America First people or something like that, then. So, who knows? But we got about just under 4 months until the primary now. So, hopefully I can get a new place and then move out of here come the end of March and then move into a new place and then get set up there real quick is what it is and get my stuff together is what it is then. So, and hopefully nothing kicks off before then is what it is. But anyway, I will be back for real though on Friday for Freedom Friday. We'll be discussing a bunch of political stuff during that, and including the death of Scott Adams recently, which was sad. He unfortunately passed, and we lost another good one. Is what it is there. And a good voice in the fight here is what it is. But we'll talk about his death. Talk about a couple other things too, and then we'll do Slicey Boy Saturday for real this coming week, and I will do a bunch of different folding knives that I've gotten recently, from Access to Button Lock, etc. So, because we got in a Klacken last night is what it was, which apparently is a new knife company that kind of sounds like Kraken, and it kind of has like a Krakenish symbol on the knife. It was a pretty good price for that one. I think it's still on sale for that price, if I'm not mistaken. I will say one thing though when it comes to knives. So I got one many months ago from Amazon. It was the I forget what they call that knife. It's like Xfilia or something. Let's see if I can find the actual company here. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it's actually called now. It was basically the white-handled knife. I think I paid like, it was either 10 or 12 bucks for those knives when they were on sale over the like last summertime. It was what it was. And now these crazy bastards are trying to charge like 40 bucks a fucking knife for it. And I'm just like, y'all are stoned out of your fucking minds, dude. So, but yeah, it's just craziness though. Like when I saw the price of that recently, and it was like 40 or 42 bucks, and I'm like, are you high? Like this was like 12, like a few months ago. Like why would anybody pay 40 bucks for this knife? It's not $40 knife. It's like, I would say maximum it's like a $20, $25 knife, honestly. So the fact that they're more than doubling the price of that, potentially, or at least like almost doubling the price of it, then it's just really ridiculous, honestly. But yeah, if you can ever get those ones on, let's see, is this the? Yeah, it would be this company right here with the fish on it. Let me see if I can look it up now. If that's the case. But I remember the name of it is what it is. So yeah. Do another quick Amazon search on that one. IP each. Okay, there we go. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it was this knife right here that was like 12 something dollars, and now it's 40 fucking bucks. And I'm like, y'all are smoking crack, dude. Like that is not a $40 knife. That is like a $20 to $25 knife maximum. And even then, it was more like a $15 to $20 knife, honestly. Because like I said, when I got it, it was like, trying to remember now. Yeah, I believe it was like 12 or 13 when I got it on sale. And then I saw it was still on that price, and that's when I bought a bunch of them from my family members. I think I got about 4 or 5 of them, is what it was then. And yeah, then it went out of say it went completely out of stock as it is, and now it's back in stock at like 3 times the price basically that I paid for it. And I'm just like, yeah, there's no way, dude. It's a good knife, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not $40 quality knife is what it is there. It's maybe $20 quality knife or so, $25 quality knife at most. So, but anyway, I'm not sure what's going on with my fucking heaters either. They keep making the little ratchet sound there. It was all throughout the night they were doing that grinding shit. I'm thinking it's they're trying to come temperature, but I'm not sure though. I know we're going pretty bad on temp right now is what it is. We got weather's going crazy these days. We'll be back in the teens this coming week is what it is. I think it's either tomorrow or Friday. It's supposed to be like in the like 17, 18 degrees again. So anyway, but hopefully my electric bill's not going to be completely insane again like it was last month where it more than doubled in price. So I swear to God, if it's over 100 again, I'm going to be really fucking pissed. But anyway, that being said, I'm going to go get something to eat then and figure some things out, try some stuff, do some things, and then get back to my normal day. Hopefully I can get out of this haze right now because I definitely have like a haze going on from last night. Because I took a second gummy is what it was. It's the first time I took 2 in a row is what it is. I don't think I'm still high right now. I think it's just like after effects in my brain basically that aren't like it's like I just need to shake loose basically what it is there. So but anyway. Yeah, that being said, I'll be back 2 days from now, probably around this time, maybe 2 o'clock or so, give or take on Friday, depending. I'm gonna have to get out and get some stuff from the store or something like that then. So it'll either be then or it'll be sometime else then. Yeah. I'm probably still kind of messed up on the one, honestly. Like I said, I took that one. It was, well, if I took it, seriously, if I'm still high from that one, it would be like 14 plus hours then, because I took it like, I think it was around, I think it was, or no, it'd be around 12 hours now I think about it, because it was around 1 a.m. this morning when I took it then. So, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be that good, though, is what it is. So, who knows? I can feel pain, that's the thing. So if I can feel pain, I don't think I'm too still high, if that'd be the case then. So, but yeah, definitely it's one of those things that kids should not have access to, I'll tell you that right now, dude. Because some of these are definitely stronger than others. They say 30 milligrams combined, but I think it's more than that in some of the cases where they just kind of meld together and stuff. So, dude, I've had ones before that didn't do jack shit, and I had these 2 last night that definitely kept kicking in, basically, is what it is there. So, I don't know how the hell Corey survived that one he took there in Texas. That graveyard one, that would probably, I know he was high for like a day and a half off that one, so it probably messed me up for about 3 or 4 days, honestly, with that amount in it. It was like 500 milligrams of stuff. So, but yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure I heard shit last night, though, coming from there. But like I said, it could have been from neighbor guy in C, and I just thought it was from B here, so. Who knows? But either way, I got my bar behind my door, though, so that's all that matters. So. I wish they did. No, they don't. Actually, last night was kind of weird because after, like I said, I took it was right around 4:30 when I took the first one, and then I didn't feel anything for like the first like 20 to 30 minutes as it was there, and then it started. I think it was around 5. It started to like slightly kick in. Then it wasn't until like 6:30 when I was waiting for my Amazon packages last night that it was really kicking in then, and then. By the time I finally got my packages around 7:30, I was like, "Is this real?" kind of thing. Like I'm like, "Is this really reality right now?" Or whatever kind of thing, because that's how it was like messing me up, whatever. And then yeah, basically just like not long after that, I ended up passing out. That's what it was. And then it was around 11:30 last night when I was woken up, and I was like, "Damn it, dude, you're fucking up my high." So, somewhat, that's the problem. Like, I wish I could find something that wasn't like. I almost don't want the THC side of it. I want the CBD side of what was there. Like, I'd rather have something where it's like a non-high, like pain relief. So, because like I said, I know this is messing me up, like brain issues and stuff like that, and like probably I'm sure it's messing my short-term memory up too, for that matter. So I don't know. I do know it's Wednesday though. I know that. So we got a winter weather thing that was just issued. Wow, for all this area apparently. What is their winter weather advisory here? Let me check this real quick before we go to. All right, so we got winter weather advisory until 7 p.m. tomorrow. 3 to 5 inches of snow expected. Jesus. Hopefully that's not quite us. I would assume the 3 to 5 is more Akron, or not Akron. It's more Cleveland and the Akron there. Which, given the fact that I'm in the Canton-ish area there, I think it wouldn't really be quite as much on me then. Maybe that would be like 2 or 3, maybe. I don't know. I was hoping to do the thing with this weekend, the Mom's Grave site, but I don't think that's going to happen now just because of everything going on right now and the weather changes and stuff like that. So, that's a question you're asking me. I tried smoking a couple times back at the old house. I'm not going to do it here because I don't think you can smoke in these units, is what it is. And I've never actually tried anything in like food or anything like that. So, but yeah, to me, like between the smoking and just the taking of whatever, then it's easier to just take the Delta 9s and stuff like that is what it is there. So, but anyway. That being said, that's for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this Wednesday special of Slicey Boy Sunday. About the new Fixed Blades of 2026. Here's what it is. And I will be back, like I said, for Freedom Friday in a couple days. And then we'll do Slicey Boy Saturday. This coming Saturday for various folding knives that I've gotten in stock here in the last few days is what it is. And then next week, so a week from this coming Saturday, so that would be the 24th. Most likely, I will do the top 10 knives, top 10 fixed blade knives that I got in 2025. We're not going to bring out 10 knives, that's what it is. We're just going to do, I got a bunch of different Amazon things for that stuff, and we'll just discuss them on there, is what it is. Like, there might be like 1 or 2 that I might show on camera that I have just randomly sitting here, is what it is. But if I can't find them right away, I'll just, like I said, it'll just be like an actual what you call for it is then. So it might be like 2 or 3 that I actually pull out for real. And it'll be like 7 digitally is what it is then, that I've bought over the last year or so. So anyway. But yeah, other than that though, that's where I'm at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out, stay safe, stay vigilant, all that good stuff. And have a good one, y'all. Later.